And you're live, Dale.
Hey, NASCAR fans. Thank y'all for tuning in for another episode of Ask Junior. We are in the studio, me and TJ, cranking out another Dale Jr. download, episode 688. And listen up, fans. Xfinity is waving the red flag on internet price hikes. They're raising the green flag for savings. Now you get the speed and reliability in the Wi-Fi you need. Locked in at one price for 5 years. No surprises, no late yellows, just a straight shot to victory lane. We've got a winner, folks, and it's Xfinity. Xfinity, imagine that. I've used the service, and it's good. And they've never raised the price on me as long as I've been a customer, and my speeds actually increased over a couple years. But good service, good reliable service, and we have the location where I have the service, TJ, is like way out on the end of the line.
Oh, you're at the end?
Oh, yep. And if you look at the power line and stuff, it's kind of rough, and you're kind of wondering how the service is so reliable. But anytime we have an outage in our area, it's quick to fix. So, and it's rare that happens, but they're quick. The service is good, and so I'm pretty happy as a customer. But let's get to some questions. I guess everybody's kind of rolling in.
Yep. First question coming from Tony. We got the Olympics going on right now. He said, I saw a photo of you carrying the Olympic torch. One, is this real? How far did you run with it, and were you wore out afterwards?
I forget what year it was. Maybe it was 2001. The torch came through Charlotte. A couple of different drivers got to carry it.
2001, yeah.
This is how it works. At least this is how it worked that day. So growing up, right, you've seen this torch get carried across the country, and you're like, man, I wonder how long somebody runs with this thing. And you're thinking it's like, these regular, everyday, average people that are somewhat athletic, right, are running this thing from city to city for miles. And maybe that's part of what kind of happens. But once it arrived to Charlotte, there was a planned route that the torch would go, and then it would get to a place where it would be lit, and the flame would be lit, and I suppose they light that flame in that city, and the next day they'll take that flame, relight the torch, and now the torch is back on its route to the next town. They had, I remember this. I'm like, okay, man, I knew about 3 or 4 people before me who was carrying the torch, and I think it was a couple drivers, Dale Jarrett and a few other people, and then I knew the people after me, the next couple of people that were going to be carrying the torch. And our route was not a direct route to the flame, right, to where we're going to light the flame. We ran around blocks that we probably didn't have to run around. They lengthened the route to be able to add all these individuals into it. And I think you just jog, and there's people on the side of the road, kind of like a parade, cheering you on, waving. Everybody gets this outfit they're going to wear. You get that a couple days ahead of time. I remember that. And the torch that I carried is mine. And so, I'm running to somebody, and they've got their own torch, and I light theirs. And the flame is what gets passed more so than the torch itself. And so, but they had us running almost literally running in circles. And so I ran around these blocks, and I'm like, well, I just could have went down that street and not had to do all that. But they're like, all right, man, you're going to meet this person, and you're going to and that was the only nervous part, right? Is don't let the flame go out, right? There was no worry or threat of it going out while you're jogging. But when you pass it to the next person or whatever, you just didn't want it to go out. They never told you anything about that. They never said, be careful of this, don't do that. So I get to the next person. I don't even remember who it was. It might have been Dale Jarrett. Teresa. I don't know who it was. Teresa did a leg. And
yeah, it was.
In fact, I feel like she was the one that actually got to light the big deal at the end.
Because your bib you had a little sticker 166. She had 167.
Yeah. And so when it's all over with, they give you your torch. I've got it. I've still got that. I still got the outfit.
You should wear it sometime.
No. But it's fun. I was honored. it's kind of it's one of them things where you're like, wow, I want it. I've heard about this, saw this all my life, all through my childhood, and now I'm going to be able to do it.
Yeah, pretty neat.
Yeah, pretty neat. So,
have you guys watched any of the Olympics?
I've just seen
over the years.
I'm saying these
year.
past Winter Olympics is going on right now.
I've seen a couple highlights.
Yeah, I have it.
Anything that you think you could do? Curling, I feel like it's always the.
I've only seen a lot of
Yeah.
I saw the downhill deal, which was terrible.
With Lindsey Vonn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't look too good.
No.
The speed skating, where there's multiple people on the track.
I love when there's like 30 of them out there.
That's pretty neat. Yeah. So I went to South Korea for the Winter Olympics. The bobsled's badass. Really anything going down that course. I don't care what it is, luge, all those things.
Did you see the Americans the other day?
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Only one guy got in the bobsled.
Yeah, they all.
Oh, they didn't get down.
There was a video. It was like when I put a parlay together and only one leg hits.
Yeah. Well, the bobsled's cool because to me that's kind of close to racing a car. And yeah, we're not traditionally that great at it. You know, there's other countries that are just faster. I don't know the intricacies or why does these guys always win? What is it about them, their sled, whatever? I do know that when Jeff Bodine got involved in the bobsled, they worked really hard and we did improve. But that's not quite enough. So going to that's really cool, but also, when they get on the bigger track, there's like a big speed. You know, they have the small track where there's like 4 of them out there running around wide ass open. But then they have this real big track where there's about 20 or 25 of them out there. And it's pretty fun to watch. They kind of pace themselves, right, to save their energy, and all of a sudden somebody takes off and you're like, it's too soon. You're going to get run down. Maybe not.
Have you seen the clip of the one where they're doing that and the one person takes off and catches the back of the pack? And then no one else kind of takes off, and they all just kind of stay in line, and they end up finishing the race like a lap early than everyone else. Like they almost lapped people.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, so she went out and lapped them once and then just got to the back of the pack and just stayed there. And they all forgot that she was a lap ahead.
Oh, yeah.
And just strolled with them, and she finishes, and they're all like, what happened? Like, no, you were a lap down and you didn't realize it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the hockey's going to be great. A lot of passion and excitement around hockey, male and female.
Yeah.
I was able to be at a couple of games in South Korea where we had some success, and the energy in the state in the room was cool. So yeah, I mean that's just we'll be tuning in.
Yep. Next question. Person was asking. He's seen you wear the sweatshirt, your Filter Time sweatshirt, and was wondering how that's going and what exactly is it.
Whoa, Filter Time is going great. Filter Time's been going on for about 5 years. Me and a friend started this business where basically it's home air filters. If your HVAC needs clean filters, you can get a subscription from Filter Time, and we'll mail them to you. And I'm a customer of my own business, right, to kind of see what the experience is like. And I've adjusted my frequency of how often I get the filters because I got them every 3 months, which I thought that was kind of the normal. But then I would, they would be really clean. Maybe I don't need them but every 6 months. And so you can make that adjustment, and you can cancel anytime. There's no, like, contract or anything like that. The number one reason why your HVAC fails is because the filter's dirty. It's working overtime, right, trying to push air through a dirty filter. And, it's hard to remember with all the things we got going on in our lives to change that. And I'll mail you the filters, and when they show up on your doorstep, that's your reminder. Change them, put the dirty ones in the box, you're done. And so it's worked out really good. I wasn't sure that this was going to be a success, but it's so convenient, and our prices are on par with all the other brands. And so
it's easier than going to the store because then you got to track down all the 2-3 different.
And you go to the store, right? If I go to Lowe's for filters, I'm gonna spend $300 on other shit I don't need, And so, and leave without the filters.
Yeah, you're gonna forget.
Yeah,
you're just not.
And you don't need to stockpiling filters in your house is so annoying because
they're big.
You don't
bulky.
remember to change them, and you look and you found them, and you're like, shit.
You go buy new ones because you couldn't find the old one.
Yeah.
When was the last time I changed them? And, you just don't worry about it.
So what I like about it is I take the old filters and I put them in the box. The new filters came in and throw the whole box out together.
That's right.
And then
Real convenient.
it's easy.
Yeah, just let us help you. Go on filterdime.com, get your plan. We'll mail them to you. If you don't like it, you can cancel. Give it a shot.
Next question. They said they saw Brad Keselowski needed a valid driver's license for NASCAR racing. What exactly does a NASCAR driver need a license for?
That's always been the case. I remember, years ago, the rules were different. Now, on the short track, at the short track level, they're allowing 12 and 13, 14-year-old kids to race in late models and modifieds and stuff like that. That used to not be the case. So I remember I wasn't able to get a NASCAR license to race a street stock at Concord until I got a driver's license. And maybe it was my permit. I couldn't remember, but you had to have one to attain the other. And so obviously those rules have relaxed quite a bit, but I still feel like, yes, if you're not, if you're a race car driver in the NASCAR Cup Series, you have to have a valid license. You have to have a valid, driver's license from your home state.
I feel like if you're a Cup driver, you don't need your NASCAR license. It should be on auto renewal.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, we have hard cards.
Yeah.
And I don't know why we're not digital. Like, it's time to probably go digital because I'm sure it's kind of like costly for NASCAR to make all these hard cards. And I suppose, yeah, if you raced in the series last year and you didn't destroy the field every time you went out on the racetrack, you could probably auto-renew.
We talked about this earlier on the show, but H2O Dan wants to know, where's the Bud Hood?
What Bud Hood?
He's asking
One that was behind us.
Yeah, the Bud Hood's gone. The Bud Hood was signed by all the guests from last year. It's taken off the wall. I believe you can go to the Dale Jr. Foundation. We have a auction going on right now for you to try to buy the hood if you want. It raises money for the foundation. We now have a new hood on the wall. TJ's favorite driver, as you can see behind him, Jeff Gordon. The DuPont scheme with the flames. That's the hood for this year. So pretty exciting. I'm sure Jeff Gordon's happy.
Next question. What do you think of Ryan Blaney's mustache?
It's getting big, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the real deal. Yeah. I mean, Ryan's the guy that, grows the beard and the mustache, I guess he bought a llama. Read somewhere where he got a llama.
Yeah, because it protects some other animals, apparently.
I don't know. I might ask him about that. I think we might get him on a show here in a couple weeks.
But do you think he needs to just keep letting it grow, cut it?
I mean, it's past that point. I mean,
who are we to tell Ryan Blaney about his grooming habits?
Agreed.
I don't know. I'm just going to let him do what he wants to do. I think it's fine. Showing a little personality.
Yeah, who cares?
It reminds me of that guy in the Gangs of New York.
Never seen the movie.
You never seen? Oh, sorry. Who's seen the movie in here? All right, you know what I'm talking about.
TJ, have you?
Was Daniel Day-Lewis is his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Butcher. He looks like the Butcher.
I like it. Keep it going.
Yeah.
I feel like he looks like the guy. Remember that cartoon movie, The Lorax? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Micah does.
Look it up. You'll see.
Very nice.
That's what it looks like. The Lorax.
Our next question. If you could clone yourself to remove one task that you do daily, what would it be?
That's a great question. Yeah.
If you could clone yourself to do one task,
Like mine would be laundry. I don't want to fold it, don't want to put it away.
you do that daily?
Or weekly, like something that you do a good amount.
Yeah. Man, I'm realizing that I got it pretty good.
Carpet.
Yeah.
What about a pickup line? sitting in that.
I like that. I don't want to do anything that involves my kids. I don't want to clone myself to do that.
There's some tedious work. Like for me, it would be like taking my radios out, plugging them in, handling all that stuff, putting it back in, packing it up, because that's tedious.
Making your videos and stuff, your
there's
driver tools.
There's definitely some tedious video work that could cut out some hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be badass to have a clone
Oh,
that you could be like,
Who Dale's?
do this, go do this job, you know?
yeah.
Go over here and clean this up, or go.
Hey, Amy's mad. Go get her cheer her up.
Yeah.
You go sleep in bed tonight. I want the couch.
No. Just to work, just to clean shit up, fix shit, straighten shit, organize something.
Go to the store.
My garage, right, is in my house. I've got my little man garage with my toolbox and all my stuff, and I've let it get very shitty, really unorganized. A lot of crap laying everywhere. Counter just covered in things.
I hate that.
Stacked. I know, and I'm not normally like that. We've been going and going and going, so busy this off season, and that's driving me crazy. So shit like that, I would be like organizing, keeping stuff organized.
That would be mine.
Yeah,
I just
go to my closet, like I do the purge once a year or so. Go in my closet, get rid of all the t-shirts I'm not wearing, and because I am in the with the position that I have, I'm not a willing participant, but I'm a t-shirt collector. Like, people are always giving me shirts. Shirts are always coming through here. New Junior Motorsport shirts, new sponsor shirts, this shirt, that shirt, this shirt. My closet in a period of a year just gets bursting at the seams with like all the new apparel that we get and the partnerships and stuff that we acquire. And so I have to go, like, our Junior Motorsports logo changed, right? And so it just says Junior Motorsports. It did say Junior Motorsports. And so they, all the old stuff, I got, go in there and get it out, stuff like that. That's what I'd ask them to do.
I like that. This next question.
Oh, I got another idea.
Let's hear it.
I, for a long time, have wanted to start a store on eBay. And I would clone myself and have myself running a store, an eBay store, where I could sell sheet metal, used sheet metal, things that I want to sell. I'm saying this publicly because I got to get this shit off my chest. I have been collecting and collecting and collecting for years. Collecting so much crap. Models from the 70s still in the wrapper. Just racing souvenirs, old vintage racing souvenirs. Tons and tons of sheet metal. Not even all my own sheet metal. And I'm sort of getting to the point to where I'm like, I need to get rid of some of this stuff. And I want an eBay store where I can sell and bargain and haggle because it's fun. But if I did that, people would be like, why is he selling this stuff?
So you kind of want to do it yourself. You don't.
I do want to. I enjoy, like,
because David said, dude, that's called an intern.
Well, I enjoy like listing something and seeing what the demand is, seeing what the value of it might be, seeing someone else get it and enjoy it. People would be surprised when I got into road biking. Jimmy convinced me that I needed to do that, and I was trying to get in better shape, and so I went and bought all this gear that I didn't need to buy. Crap. I bought junk. Because I thought every piece of equipment for road biking was the same. And so I went on Amazon and got this cheap shoe and this cheap pair of pants and whatever, right? Well, none of it, I ended up hating it because it was not comfortable and wasn't the good stuff. And I needed, that was important. I learned. So I had all this stuff and I sold it on eBay. And I mean, just for $20 here and there, but it's like fun to, if there's there's a feeling of like
A little rush.
Yeah, I don't want to throw it out. I'm not throwing it in the corner. It's not junk. I'm not putting it in a trash can. I'm not keeping it in my closet because I'm never going to use it. I want to, I want to sell it. Yeah. I've thought about quitting everything that I'm doing.
Don't quit podcasting.
Including this show. To just sell shit on eBay. Be the other side of the picker. The American pickers would go to these dudes' houses. I'll be the dude. And I'm just going to, I got shit laying everywhere.
What are you going to do when you're out of stuff?
I will be happy.
Yeah, but then what are you gonna do? So you should probably keep the
I'll
podcast.
go back to work.
We're trying to put people out of jobs.
No, I'm just saying that I'm never going to
I know.
truly quit. I'm just saying that I've really wanted to do this.
So let's do it.
Man,
Yeah, just do it.
I need to find somebody to help me. I can't run the store. I don't have time. Don't have the bandwidth.
We'll have an annex of Dirty Mo Media.
I need a person that can do this store for me. And we'll just list some things here and there. I'll share in the value. I'll share in the monetary success, whatever that may be.
All right, we're gonna get on that. That's gonna be next.
I'm curious as to what people think about that. Can I start a store? Because I know there'll be some pushback. People will be like, "What's this jerk off? What's he need to sell stuff for? Why is he not just giving it to people?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I want to enjoy the process.
I think people would enjoy, especially some of the stuff that you'd be selling is stuff that I think fans would truly enjoy having. And it's just
Luke Combs got on the TV or got on the social media the last couple of days because he has discovered that sports cards collecting has boomed. Sports cards collecting has boomed in the last 6 years. I used to collect baseball cards back in the 90s during the junk wax era, and so I got some stuff that's kind of okay, nothing real crazy. But he kind of got excited about it, and he's asking people online like, "Hey man, what's the best way to do this?" Right? You can go to the collectors on eBay or physically go to wherever the expos are and buy the singles that you want, your favorite players, the autographs, the big ticket item that you want, or you can rip packs and try to hope to land something. And there's an art, sort of a theory behind the best way to sort of land something through packs. And he had to go on there after having a bit of a conversation about he's trying to learn, right, through social media. Help me, guys. What do I need to do? What do I need to know? He had to go on there in a few moments and confirm, I'm not doing this to make money. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to hustle here. I just want to enjoy the process of ripping a pack and having and landing that card, right?
Mm-hmm.
That feeling. That's
best.
Yeah. That's what selling that's what selling on eBay is also like. It's like, man, I'm gonna put this thing on there. Maybe nobody wants it. Maybe somebody does, and it takes off, and you're like, oh, somebody did want it. Lots of people wanted it.
That rush when you're bidding on something, and it's like you and one other person, and they're watching the clock.
Yeah, and you might have 4 or 5 items listed, and you get to kind of check on them, see how they're doing. Oh man, nobody wants this. Yeah, if it don't sell, it don't sell. But when something does, you're like, oh crap! Now I gotta make a label. I gotta find a box. I gotta. And then you ship it to them, and you're like, hope they don't complain about it. Hope it is what they thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got one person that said Dirty Mo QVC. Let's just get
I just have a lot of stuff, and I need to trim down because it's really giving me anxiety.
Amy'd probably be happy too.
She doesn't care.
It's not cluttering up anything.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not in her way.
You want one more question?
Sure.
All right. So this person clearly having some driving issues. How does driving in the snow compare to driving on worn out tires on a racetrack? I know my butt cheeks get real tight in Green Bay when driving in the winter.
Lord. Well, you got a lot of experience with that, TJ, being from Buffalo.
Snow is just snow. I mean, you can get in trouble real quick. You just got to slow down. Just like when the tires wear out, you slow down a little bit. The snow is definitely way more treacherous because snow, if you get too far off the road and them tires hook into the deeper stuff, you're going over there.
Yeah.
So, and the roads in North Carolina, for anyone living in the north, when you move to North Carolina, the roads here are narrow, like super narrow. Every road in New York and Pennsylvania, you start getting up north, you have like a whole 3/4 car width off the side of the road.
Oh, really?
On the other side of the yellow line. And because I remember riding my bike all over the place, and I had all the room I needed over here and didn't have to worry about cars at all, but because they got to push the snow off.
Yeah. Okay.
So down here, the roads are
super narrow.
Super narrow.
Yeah.
But snow is snow. The worst thing down here is just ice.
Yeah.
because ice is the same everywhere. It doesn't matter if you have 4-wheel drive, 8-wheel drive, ice is ice.
I think the one thing that I always kind of be careful about with snow, ice especially, is slowing down, coming up on a braking situation, whether it's an intersection, a red light, or whatever. Like, you got to really give yourself a lot more room, longer braking zone, because there's no fixing it when if you lock up the brakes and that thing starts to slide, there's no fixing that. You're going into whatever's in front of you.
Yeah.
And you can't take that risk.
No.
And so you have to almost be aggressively conservative.
Creep up on things.
Yeah. Like driving down the road and getting driving down a stretch of road in the snow isn't really the problem for me. I don't find a problem with that. But when I'm coming up on the stop sign, when I'm coming up on the intersection, it's like, man, I need to slow down earlier. I need to make sure I don't load the front tires and get them into a slide, because once that begins, you're screwed.
Yeah, and you don't really have some of the worst part about driving in the snow in the north is blowing snow. We don't have that here, but you'd be driving along and the wind's blowing the snow and it just turns into a whiteout for a few seconds and you can't see a thing. And then you'll see tail lights in front of you again, and then that's really challenging to do. I remember having to drive in that stuff many times, but
yeah.
I got a question. What did y'all think of the Super Bowl?
Sucked.
I didn't watch.
We'll watch half of it.
I watched half of it.
I watched almost the whole thing.
Reminded me of, I saw a meme on social media where they pull the mask off. And it's a Thursday night. Thursday night football. So, I mean, it was low scoring. A lot of defense, which is important. I get it. Defense is not as sexy as high-powered offense. And so the game was trudging along. Like,
this is what happens when the Patriots got a lucky path to the Super Bowl and played a bunch of bad teams.
I'm not going to argue that, but
I loved it. I loved seeing the Patriots get beat up in that. Everyone kind of knew they were going to.
Yeah.
Drake May has not had the greatest track record.
I put a parlay together. Seahawks win. I bet 39.5 on the over total.
You lucky.
And I bet both QBs to have over 175 yards passing.
You could thank the Seahawks for getting a big lead.
That was a winning parlay.
That touchdown I got called back at the end killed me.
Killed your over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or killed your total?
Yeah.
Yep.
So we have one more question we're going to add. I can't find where it's at, but someone was asking, what do you remember of the lead singer of 3 Doors Down?
Oh, man, I'm so glad you asked that.
Yeah.
Brad Arnold passed away yesterday or 2 days ago. And so a long time ago, there was a place where bands would come play called the Tremont Music Hall, single floor, rough as hell. But it's where all the bands came before they were big enough to play at the amphitheater. And we always went there because we felt like we were seeing the bands before they got big. And it was intimate. You know, you could get right up to the stage, and it's really cool. So we pull in. We'd get a limo. We'd go raise hell. It was the Budweiser days. We were partying, raising hell. So it's like a Tuesday or Wednesday night, and they're playing. We get there, and we pulled up beside their bus. We didn't know it was their bus, but of course there's buses, so you assume it's a musical act. And somebody opened the door and said, we were just sitting there finishing a beer or something, getting ready to go inside. We weren't in a big rush. Somebody said, hey, you want to meet the lead singer of the band? And it was Brad, and he come and sat down in the limo, and me and him sat there and talked for 20 minutes. And they had just come out with Kryptonite. It'd been out a couple months maybe. And he was immediately, I recognized that he was, he had no idea what was coming. He had no reference for the noise they were making and the attention they were attracting with their music. And he was from Mississippi, down around that area, around the Gulf, and just really humble, kind, nice, and in no way, like, not even a tiny bit, like, affected by this little, bubble they were creating. And I recognized that, and I wasn't anybody to give any advice at the time, but I was like, man, I'm gonna tell you right now, I was like, you better hang on to your roots. You better hang on to home and the people you trust. Like, you're going into the stratosphere, and you're gonna, rocket to fame if you guys keep this up. And I, you could easily lose track of who you are. We were having that conversation, and I didn't know if I'd ever see the guy again. Well, turns out they do have tons of fame, success. Coincidentally, we get linked together through the Bud deal. We do some race cars. We did the deal with Tony Stewart. We had Three Doors Down on the car several times. That brought us back together. We had a lot of opportunities where we hung out together during some promotional stuff. And he came to my 30th birthday party. A bunch of us got in a boxing ring in the middle of the night and beat the shit out of each other, and he was one of those guys. I'm sitting there watching the lead singer of Three Doors Down with a bloody mouth and standing there going, I'm ready for more. And so, we spent a lot of time together, and he got him a little spot out in the farmlands of Nashville. I went over to the Speedway and to test before we got back to Nashville Super Speedway. We went over to the Speedway to test with the National Guard car back in 2011 or something. And he come over. He's like, man, I live 5 minutes away from there. I'll come see you. So he come over, hung out. I had a table at the banquet in Nashville for the awards about 3 or 4 years ago. And I invited him and his wife to come sit with us at our table because he lived nearby. He came to the banquet, sat at our table, got up when we were done. Good to see you. Nice to talk to you. We're going home. Okay. And I was thankful to see them. They did this tour with Creed over the last year and a half, 2 years, and they had a ton of success with that. And I was glad for him and the band. And so I say all that to say that I knew him well. I felt like I appreciated his friendship. It meant a lot to me. He set a great example for me and others because of his humbleness and his kindness. All through all of that, right? They played the inauguration. There was a lot of success. There was a lot of tough moments. There was a lot of years where there wasn't much going on. To come back and have the success with the tour of the past couple of years. I mean, through all of those things, this guy never changed who he was and never seemed affected at all by the fame or success and the doors that would have opened up for him. He was as normal and humble the last day I saw him as he was the first day I met him. And he wanted it that way. He liked it. He liked being regular and normal and having his little piece of land to fool around with in his normal life. But he could get on that stage and turn into the lead singer of that band and put on a hell of a show. And he's just such a good soul, man. It's tough news to hear about him passing away. I knew he was sick. I'd been communicating with him a little bit through that and wasn't quite sure, how that was going. And, but, I've talked to, he's got good people around him. His wife, Jen. My heart goes out to all of his friends and his family, and he left a hell of an impact. I mean, he is, he was a good friend, a good dude. Super good dude. I mean, everybody that met him, you see all the, I'm looking on social media and reading all the comments from people that got to meet him. Even the best ones are the ones where I don't know this guy, but I met him once, and this was the experience. Every one of them are like, man, he was just so kind, so nice, so generous. And so that's pretty neat to read those things and see that reaction.
Yeah. I think that's a good place to end Ask Junior.
Thanks for asking that question.
Thank you. It's a
glad I had the opportunity.
Somebody on here had the Vigilant Guardian. Thank you.
Glad I had the opportunity to share because he was a good, special dude. Deserves to be celebrated. All right, NASCAR fans, that's it for the Ask Juniors part of the show. Thanks for tuning in, supporting us. We're going to Daytona today, and going to go down there and see some practice in the morning. Speed Week is firing up, and we're all excited about that. Our teams are starting to pull haulers out of the parking lot and head on down to Daytona and down to Florida. Xfinity is waving the red flag, though, on internet price hikes and raising the green flag for savings. Now you can get the speed and reliable Wi-Fi you need, locked in one price, 5 years, no surprises, no late yellows, no debris cautions. Just a straight shot to victory lane, just like you like it. We've got a winner in Xfinity. Imagine that. Yeah. Way to start the season. Going to be a fun year. We'll see you.